Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer and today I'm Gamesplaining Indian Summer. In the game of Indian Summer, each player is trying to fill their forest floor, which is this grid of squares, with polyomino shaped tiles, which are these guys. The first to fill up their grid entirely will win the game, unless of course more than one fill them up in the same turn, because the round will be completed once someone does actually fill their board. At the end of the round, if there's more than one that's filled their board, then it comes down to who has the most nuts. And these can be traded at a value of 2 blueberries for 1 nut, or 1 mushroom equals 2 nuts, or obviously feathers become, 1 feather becomes 2 mushrooms, and those 2 mushrooms will become 4 nuts. Here's the start player marker. On your turn, you will take one of the polyomino shaped tiles that is in your lineup, so next to your backpack, and you'll place it somewhere on the board. So for example, if I threw that one in there, it doesn't matter which way up, you can turn them over or not, depending on what they are. So obviously this one will fit in differently, or they'll take different corners. Once you've placed it, if the hole is leaving open a picture, you will gain that treasure. When you take the treasure from placing a piece that has a hole, you actually put the treasure over the top of the hole. That will stay there until you have completely filled this sector. There are 6 different sectors on your board. On the back of your backpack is a little list of the 4 things that these treasures do. 2 of those things are bonus actions, and those bonus actions can happen at any time. So the blueberry, you can trade in one of your blueberries to be able to refill your lineup. So you'll start with 5. If you get down to say 2 and you played a blueberry, you would then come to the main line next to where the bush is and take the next 3 pieces from the bush and place them in the same order they were in that line. The bush then comes to keep following the track around. You do not, however, have to play a blueberry in order to fill up your track. If your track is empty at the beginning of your turn, you will just take the next 5 tiles and put them into your track. The other action you're allowed to do if you don't want to place one of these tiles onto your board is you can place a squirrel. You can place your squirrel anywhere on the board that you like. Once you've placed your tile, or even before you've placed your tile, you can spend a nut to place a squirrel somewhere. If you place a squirrel over the top of a treasure spot, you won't get that treasure. The other 2 actions or treasures that allow you to do actions are actions you do instead of your main action. So instead of placing one of the tiles from your lineup onto your board, you might trade in a mushroom, which is that guy, to be able to place the first treasure from each of your opponent's lines, to be able to place the first tile from 2 of your opponent's lines. So you would grab this one, and if you're in a 2-player game, you'll then grab that one. If you're in a 3-player game, you'll obviously then grab it from the other opponent. If you're in a 4-player game, you get to choose who you're taking the tiles from. So once you've taken those tiles, you will then place them, and once again, if you've left any holes for treasures, cover them up. And the other action from a treasure you have is the feather action, which allows you to play 2 tiles from your own lineup. So for example, I could place that one there, and maybe that one there. Once again, throwing a treasure over that. Noticing there's a hole there, I could then spend, as I spoke of earlier, spend a nut to get a squirrel into that hole. What I've just done is I've completed this space, so I'd get those 2 treasures into my own supply. Plus, you may notice that there are some extra tiles on a board in the middle of the setup. If you manage to get your holes into a particular pattern, you can cover them with those guys. And what they allow you to do is to get those treasures again. So the pattern that I currently have will allow me to place this over the top of those 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. They must be contiguous holes. You can't have a gap in it. So I couldn't put that over there because I'd need a hole in this one as well for that to happen. But when I place that there, I then also get the treasures that were in the hole, again, the 2 nuts again. If I had placed this one here, I wouldn't have got that treasure, so I'll put that back, but that would allow me to use this one, which means I get that blueberry and I place that there. Noticing that you have to have cleared the treasures from the spot, so you have to actually complete the things in order to be able to place the animals over the top of it. If this one actually did have a blueberry on it already, I wouldn't have been able to place that one. As I said before, once your lineup runs out, just refill it from this line. When this gets down to only having 7 tiles in it, refill it from that stack. At random, there needs to be no pre-thought as to which tiles are actually going to go into that lineup. And I believe that is it for the rules of Indian Summer. I hope this helps you get Indian Summer to the table. If you want a better idea of how it actually plays, please go on and watch my Gamesplayed video. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games that you wish to be gamesplayed, please shoot me an email at thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at thegamesplainer to see what games I've been playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.